was an update from yesterday. The district attorney for, the New York City district attorney, or not New York City, excuse me, North Carolina district attorney, Andrew Womble. So Andrew Brown's death took place in Elizabeth City. If you don't recall this case, I'm sure you will remember that Andrew Brown was murdered by Elizabeth City police officers. There was a warrant out for his arrest, and police officers shot him in his vehicle. He was murdered with a shot to the back of the head. He had no weapons on him. So it's a very disturbing case. There were, of course, protests in the very, very small town of Elizabeth City. And this is the latest update. Family were able to see at first 20 seconds of body cam footage, and then they were able to see a little bit more a little bit earlier in the month. And so this is the latest video, the latest update from the DA from yesterday. This clip courtesy of The Hill.
On Wednesday, April 21st, 2021, Andrew Brown Jr. of Elizabeth City, North Carolina, was shot and killed by 3 deputies with the Pasquotank County Sheriff's Office. This incident occurred at the residence of Mr. Brown, located at 421 Perry Street in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. After reviewing the investigation conducted by the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation, Mr. Brown's death, while tragic, was justified because Mr. Brown's actions caused 3 deputies with the Pasquotank County Sheriff's Office to reasonably believe it was necessary to use deadly force to protect themselves and others.
So I want to pause right there, because that is just already starting off in a very, very ridiculous, absurd place. He's saying that, that the murder, this is a murder of Andrew Brown, that the murder was justified. And I do want to correct myself. I said Elizabeth City Police, that the murder was by Elizabeth City Police. It was by Pasquotank, the sheriff's department. So correction on that earlier. But he's saying that this murder was justified. And he's saying that 3 of these officers believed that it was justified. Of course, he's saying that to cover for the fact that these were the officers who, were shooting. But what he's not saying is there were other officers who were not shooting. So why were those officers not shooting? Well, did they not believe that their lives were at risk? And I think you'll get what I'm talking about. You already know that this is ridiculous. But once you see that the part of the video that they released, which by the way is redacted and incredibly short, but you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, this guy, I don't know how he sleeps at night for a lot of reasons, but I don't know how he can stand up there at this podium and say what he's saying with a straight face. This is so infuriating and so absurd. And as many horrible things as I see in this lifetime, and as many horrible things as I report on, I don't care if I live to 100 years old. I will never understand how people can get up there and lie with a straight face and justify horrible actions like murder with a straight face. I will never understand it.
Law enforcement involvement with Mr. Brown began in the weeks prior and put the wheels in motion that eventually led to the attempted service of arrest and search warrants on April 21, 2021.
I have to stop this again. What the hell does that have to do with anything? I don't care. I don't care that the law enforcement whatever started weeks ago. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me that he had a warrant out for his arrest. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Police officers are not judge, jury, and executioner. I don't care how many things he had on his rep sheet. I don't care. It has nothing to do with his execution. And that's what this was. This was an execution. Him this DA bringing this up right now is propaganda. This is spin to try to justify, to get news outlets, to get journalists to report this, right in line to get the public perception to be like, oh, okay, so, you know, he had these things going on, you know, these police officers were looking for him, he did some things wrong, so this was an ongoing issue. So this justifies it. No, this is propaganda. This is spin. This is disgusting and horrible and wrong, the way that this is being presented. So let me set this up for you. I'll play it a couple of times. It's short. This, I believe, I think that this is what the family originally saw, that very short portion that they originally saw. So it's very quick. I will watch it a couple of times. But what you'll see are the officers rushing up on the vehicle and the vehicle driving away. Now, remember that the sheriff's department originally lied and said that Andrew Brown struck 2 officers, which, as you can see, did not happen. So remember that the sheriff's department lies and lied and continues to lie. So let's watch this the first time. Okay, so again, that happens very quickly. It is very disturbing. What you just watched was an execution live on camera. And what the sheriff's office said happened did not happen. You can see that he specifically and deliberately, it appears, tried to not hit any police officers. I think what's important when it comes to that body cam footage is that the cops lied, as we know, that Andrew Brown did not strike anyone, that they're not releasing more footage. And in fact, they say that they don't want to and they will not. And the reason is because they say that it could really, release personal details of the officers involved, which is total BS. And also, not even all of the officers had their body cams on as they were supposed to. You can see even from part of this, even from this very bad quality video, not all of these cops had their body cams on like they were supposed to. You can see Andrew Brown was not violent. He backed up. He purposely avoided hitting anybody. The cops could have let him go and found him later. They didn't have to do that. He had some drugs. He was selling some drugs. Yeah, that's your assholes. That's you guys. That's your fault, system. Spooks. It's your fault. It's not Andrew Brown's fault. By all accounts, he was a nice guy, a family guy. Down on his luck. Living in a small town. Economically, devastated, trying to make money. Like, okay, he had warrants out for his arrest. He had a rap sheet. Okay, that doesn't mean you get to murder him. That's not what that means.